Hey everyone, it's Dan from the Nostalgia Test Podcast. Just wanted to let you know if you're looking for a unique customized gift for your friends or family, hire the Nostalgia Test Podcast to create a special personalized private episode or to roast your friends or family. We create each personalized gift with special show notes and quotes just like the real thing. And also, why not invite us to host your next virtual event? Go to nostalgiatest.com and click the Hire Us tab, and let's get nostalgic. On today's episode, we invite Brandon from the Namely 90s podcast to put 4 90s power ballads to the ultimate test. Yeah! Welcome to the Nostalgia Test Podcast, the show where two longtime friends put their mainstream pop culture past to the ultimate test, the Nostalgia Test.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen, Dan, with the little soundtrack after it. I'm loving the evolution of this, Dan.
I know.
That was amazing.
I know.
Well, I was like, do you do those like off the cuff where you just like practice it like hours before our podcast? Like you're like,
so I definitely I'm
wait.
practicing them. I'm practicing, and everyone, this is like behind the curtain of the podcast. Like before the podcast even happens, like a half an hour before we go on, I'm sitting there be like, what sound am I gonna do?
Yeah.
Like, what am I gonna say? Definitely practicing them, sometimes writing them down.
I love
it. Welcome everyone to the Nostalgia Test Podcast. I'm Dan Dissinger here in LA, and I'm here with my longtime friend and co-host Manny Coelho. Manny, are you psyched?
What's up, man? Yeah, I'm psyched. I have to say, I was today was raining in New York, so these were perfect. Usually, I'll listen to the things that we put to the test, especially music-wise, all week long. But I've had a crazy week, as always. And then today was rainy. So it was like perfect to play these songs driving around today. It was like the soundtrack of my life today. Oh, and it was awesome. I had a great time. Can't wait to put these to the test. I kind of jealous on one of one of our guests' choices, because that's what I was going to do, and you kind of talked me out of it, so I chose another one. But anyways, let's introduce our guest. This is a guest episode, and I love guest episodes.
That's right.
Kind of changes it up for us, gives a little different perspective, and actually adds a little spice to the podcast, changing up kind of our style of our podcast. Absolutely. So let's do your intro, Dan.
We're here with one of the co-hosts from the Namely 90s podcast, Brandon. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating in this nostalgia test, and for sending some killer songs. I mean, I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks for having me, guys. I was surprised, Dan, you didn't do like a little air guitar riff after your sound there.
You should have, or like a drum solo. Brandon, tell us a little bit. Tell the fans, our listeners, definitely, especially Steve. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and what you guys do.
Well, hello there, Steve, and other listeners of the Nostalgia Test podcast. I'm Brandon. I am from Namely 90s. We're a weekly podcast hosted by two childhood best friends that focus on a month in the 90s each episode. Andrew and I, we grew up a couple houses down from each other. So we've known each other since I was 2. He was probably 3. We grew up in the 90s. We were kids in the 90s. So there's a little bit of like memory gaps for us. So it's fun to kind of go back and look at the decade that kind of defined our childhood. And Andrew's terrible at remembering everything. That's kind of become the shtick now that we're on episode 90 something at this point. Not including all of our Christmas specials, which we do. We've been doing for 2 years now, called the 12 Days of Christmas Specials, where we have guest podcasts on and kind of just look back at some 90s television Christmas episodes. So that's always fun. We like nostalgia, so naturally anything named nostalgia kind of drew us in and over to you guys. And you can find us over at namely90s.com/listen. Find your platform of choice over there. Or if you prefer visual stylings, we have a YouTube page where you could see me blather on about stuff like this with my my newly minted mustache. Usually I have a nice beard going. But yeah, we dive into the 90s for about 30-ish minutes a week every Monday, and kind of just have been making our way through. And we'll have to make a change around 120 episodes because we'll have done everything.
Well, when you say you do like a month, like, so you're saying you picked from the day you were born and keep going, or like what do you guys review besides like TV shows? And
we're sporadic. So, I mean, we call it a nostalgia pop culture comedy podcast. And so, each episode, it'll start off with us just chit chatting, and then we'll go into, we haven't gone in chronological order. We've just kind of picked like whatever month it is. We'll do a year per week and kind of just, cycle through to the next month and keep the numbers going. So it's, if you're trying to listen in chronological order, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to wait until the end of the year when it's all been done, and you can just go back and listen to how our audio has changed over a year, 2 years at this point. But yeah, we kind of just focus on, I'll pull a bunch of stuff, like everything that interests me that happened in a month. Like for example, a couple weeks ago we did February 1993, Groundhog's Day came out, or Groundhog Day, excuse me, I always say that wrong. There was Double Dare ended, the Nickelodeon show. Michael Jackson talked to Oprah in a national interview. Like a lot of the stuff that's just going on in pop culture, we'll list off in the intro to the episode, or kind of before the mid-episode break, and then we'll pick like 3 topics that we kind of really want to focus in on, or 2 topics that we know something about, and the 3rd topic is me kind of just being like, Falling Down with Michael Douglas. That's something people need to see. I've never seen it, but it's a really cool movie.
That's awesome. Have you seen the documentary The Orange Years?
Yes. That was that on Hulu? I know I watched it within the last couple months.
That was a phenomenal.
It gave me a great appreciation of what was going on, because you always felt when you were younger, like that era of Nickelodeon really felt like it was for people like us, and it was nice to see that they really did think that way back then, and now it's kind of just gone by the wayside.
Yeah, we actually got to do an episode with the director where we just sat and talked about the documentary, and it was phenomenal how everything worked out then, and how Nickelodeon wasn't really gearing towards like marketing to kids. They just wanted to make things for kids, and now it's totally just a commercial machine.
One of the smartest things that's said in that documentary is that like we weren't trying to pander, we were trying to just make something that they could appreciate, because then adults would appreciate it too, that the kids are actually responding to it. I didn't paraphrase that well.
It's all good. It's all good. But now let's get to this test. It's time.
It's time. We shared, each of us brought a song, a 90s power ballad, and we listened to them, and we're going to put them to the test. And then if we have time, or we could do it as we're going along, see which ones kind of, reign supreme over one or the other. The songs, just so everyone knows, we have from Brandon, Temple of the Dogs, Say Hello to Heaven. I brought in Celine Dion's It's All Coming Back to Me Now. And Manny, you brought along November Rain from Guns N' Roses. And Brandon's co-host, Andrew, who couldn't be here with us, he also sent one, I Would Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf.
Love it. That's the one. That's the one that I was going to choose. But Dan was kind of like pushing me off of that thing. Dan, you definitely talked me out of it. You definitely did.
Happens every time.
And I'm kind of annoyed. I'm kind of annoyed at you.
I don't have friends. I got family.
But then again, we wouldn't have a 4th one to talk about that.
There we go. Exactly.
To be fair, I was kind of like just going over ones for him to pick, and I was like, he's probably going to pick Hootie and the Blowfish, and he went with the Meatloaf pick, and I was like, dang it,
dude, the Hootie one was good. I was like, I was looking at lists, and I was like, oh man, yeah, that song too, and then I was like, and November Rain popped up because I think as we were doing this, Meatloaf died. So I had like been playing his song. So like, of course I wanted that song. Then I was thinking in my head, I was like, but to be truly passing this nostalgia test, like you would play it now. And I was like, am I only playing I'll Do Anything for Love, but I won't do that because it's ironic that he's dead now. So I'm playing it again. Like, it's not like I rock out to that song like all the time, but I did remember every single lyric, and the video still sticks in my head like all the time. So, but anyways, we'll get to that part.
Why don't we start with November Rain if you want to start with yours? Because I would like to know why you chose November Rain.
So I chose this because like, so normally when we do this, Dan, I always think like first impression, like not going to play it, not going to like look up things. And I'm just going to be like what I remember about it. And I remember the video. I remember MTV and the video being insane. Like, I just remember it being long, and I just like hairband, like Guns N' Roses was like at its peak. And I just, wasn't that I was like in love with that band, but like this song, I just remember constantly being played on MTV. And so I was like, yeah, I'm just going to choose this. And then like after listening to it, like, yo, the solo parts is crazy. Like, I'm like, what makes a ballad? First of all, right off the bat, the notes right off the bat, you remember. Like, you're like, oh, this is it. This is, you know, it was crazy. Like the video, all the videos, I don't know if you guys like went and checked out the videos of these songs. There's this like long drawn out, like it's like dreary, like they're all the same. They all like it's like
Poorly lit.
Poorly lit. It looks like we're watching a horror film, you know. You know, like Frankenstein's monster was about to be like made in this mansion that they're in, and everybody has a mansion. Everybody has a mansion,
of course.
But then when you get to the solo part, there's always like a bright light, and for some reason Slash just standing in a desert, just hammering on a guitar. Then they're like, all right, we're gonna go in a house, then we're gonna show you on stage, then we're gonna go like in a whole other location. I'm like, how many locations did they go to shoot this video? Like, this was an epic video. Like, these are like the times like none of these were like. Did you guys listen to the radio edits or like the original versions?
I listened to the original.
Yeah.
The only one I didn't listen to the album version on was probably Meatloaf's, because that's 12 minutes and
I rocked Meatloaf for like in repeat. I'm like, my niece was in the car. We were snowboarding this weekend, and she's like, this is a 12-minute song? I was like, yes, it is.
For no reason. We'll get to it. Like, it's too long. Well, it's like November Rain does that. It does that dip where it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, where you think it's over, and you're like, wait.
It's not even far from over.
It's not.
It ends at the 7-minute mark, then it goes on for another 2 minutes. It ends at the 8-minute mark, and then lasts until almost 9 full minits. So it's
it reminded me. It reminded me of like kind of like just like what am I trying to say? You know how like techno songs like bring you up and bring you down, bring you like the rhythm, like just like because they want you to like get crazy. That's how this song was. It was like, oh, like start off slow. I'm getting into it, and like you said, like, all right, calm them down for a second, and then get into it. But here's the thing about this ballad: you're not rocking this out anywhere but like in your house. Like, you can't play this at a wedding, can you? Like, you can't.
Probably not.
A 90s wedding, a 90s themed wedding. You're definitely playing this. 100%.
If you had big hair and you were getting married in the early 90s, you could probably have this as like your first dance.
I'm pretty sure this ended up being some people's first dances, especially if they love metal. Like, and they're just like, what's a good first dance for metal? They can't play Nothing Else Matters by Metallica because you're getting married. And so like you're definitely gonna give this, because it is like a wedding. I mean, the video, isn't it like a wedding thing?
They're in a desert at a chapel, which looks like the Kill Bill chapel.
Oh, I was just gonna say that.
Right? Yeah. And like, I mean, the greatest part is just like the orchestra. Did the Metallica playing with the orchestra come before or after this?
After.
Okay.
This was 1991.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So like the instruments in this was phenomenal. This is a ballad. This is like Yeah.
I'm not rocking this all day long. But
No. No, like I'm not like if I'm just saying like it's nostalgic definitely and I was listening to it in the car before I watched the video and I was like this is great but I need to see the video.
Can I say I think the video adds to it because on our visual episodes this hits the top 25 on the Billboard countdown a couple times. So I've watched the video through probably every single time it charts. And for this recording, I was like, I should just listen to the album version, and it felt muted to me, honestly, when I was just listening through without watching like Slash again in front of the chapel.
Yeah.
Just slamming the guitar.
I love that part. To me, that's the part that I want to see. Like, if I can get to that part faster, then like I feel good about listening to this song. But this song,
there's a nice scrub on the video.
This song is just so long, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, if I'm saying I would make this. I would say this is a nostalgic song. I would not be able to pass this and like because haven't heard this song since this is the first time I've heard the song since the last time I heard it, which is like I can't even remember when I even played a Guns N' Roses song lately, which is really interesting.
So I agree with you, Dan, but there are like for some reason, so there's like random like lyrics that pop through my head throughout like my life, like all the time. One of them being some stupid song like how do you talk to an angel? How do you talk to an angel? Holy nostalgia.
Oh my God.
How do you hold her close to where you are? It's like trying to catch a falling star. You know what that is? The Heights. Horrible show. They had a band in it. It was a terrible show about a band in the 90s. It was terrible. It was like made by the same people who did 90210. Or it's kind of like, right? But November Rain, just like the cold November rain, pops in my head all the time. But like that's it. It's not like I want to like sit there and like
10 seconds of like this 9-minute song.
I was gonna say, can you remember any other lyrics?
No.
And you just listened to the song.
Yeah, and like even when like they're saying like a cold November rain, that's it.
Yep.
That's all I get. So like it definitely just stays nostalgic for me. Like and you're right, Brendan. Like the video needs to be played because you need to see them rocking out the hair, the hat, the desert solo.
The hair and the hat. Okay.
So,
Brandon, what do you think? November Rain.
I agree. It's just it is one of those nostalgic songs, but the only GNR song that I think I would put on a modern playlist or like a current playlist of mine would be Welcome to the Jungle because it both up tempo and like psychs you up. This one never really gets to the point where you like. The next few songs that we have like an up tempo section that makes you feel pumped, whereas November Rain is truly more ballad than power because it just kind of takes you up, but it doesn't really get you to the peak. You know?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
All right.
So
goodbye, November Rain.
So Brandon, let's go to yours because I have to say this was a really great surprise. But yeah, go ahead. Talk. Yeah.
So I picked "Say Hello to Heaven" by Temple of the Dog. For me, it is nostalgic and it's near and dear to my heart because Pearl Jam is like one of my favorite bands. Temple of the Dog, as you may or may not know, is essentially modern Pearl Jam with Chris Cornell singing as well. They were formed after Mother Love Bone. The lead singer Andrew Wood died of a heroin overdose, and Chris Cornell was his roommate. So that's Chris Cornell of Soundgarden. If Chris Cornell doesn't hit enough memory neurons for everyone out there. So he put together this tribute band called Temple of the Dog. I always loved Hunger Strike. That's the other single from that album that everyone knows. But it's just like Chris Cornell plus Pearl Jam makes a beautiful, beautiful combination for me. I once karaoke'd this song in a video game bar.
Really?
Yeah. And actually, Andrew was there as well. We were like, what can two nerds do while we're at home for the holidays? And we went to this video game bar, and it turned out to be a karaoke night. I was like, I need to try singing this song because it was in the songbook. It's never in any songbook because it's a 6-minute song and there's like a 2-minute solo. So it's like, yeah, but I went up and I did the say hello to heaven. And like, if that sounded terrible right now, think of me drunk at a video game bar singing that, because there's nothing to do but play Mike Tyson's Punch Out and sing karaoke.
That's gonna be ball.
I know, it's all out of quarters. But yeah, it's
that's awesome.
Because I would say like Chris Cornell's voice is just one of the greatest voices of all time. I mean, as soon as he started singing, I was like, I need to sit down and cry because, like, one, it's going to be 5 years that he has passed away.
Wow.
Yeah, already? Wow.
Yeah, he passed away in May 2017. And so, but like when you go back and you listen to he had like one of the best voices, in my opinion. I would say in the 90s when it came to rock, I think Chris Cornell has like the greatest voice.
To me, that's like, that's 90, that like defines the 90s. You know, like, yeah. I will say that the one thing about this song in the beginning, I didn't recognize it. Like the chord, like the other chords in the beginning, each song I was like, oh, it's that song. That was weird.
It's not the song. I love Batman.
You know what's weird about that chime that just happened? It's that app is deleted on my laptop and it still comes on for some reason. There's like this virus that's just stuck onto my Google Chromebook that, you know, Dan, you could delete this out of the podcast.
Yeah, what is happening?
Like, today's episode of the Nostalgia Test podcast is brought to you by Lithology Brewing, located at 211A Main Street in Farmingdale, New York. Please go to www.lithologybrewing.com for more information. That's LITHOLOGY brewing.com. But anyways, back to this. I didn't recognize the song at first. And then I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh, yeah, this song. And loved it. Had a great time with it. Definitely brought me back. Definitely not like one I was rocking all the time, but like just the voice got me to like all other songs he's played and like just like other, you know, 90s bands that I remember like listening to. So
yeah,
it did a lot for my nostalgic like brain and feelings.
It definitely hit all the nostalgic, like all the nostalgia. And to me, like it really like, cause you'd never hear there's not a lot of discussion about Temple of the Dog. Like there's not a lot of talk, like, but they were one of the, I would say probably one of the better super groups, and they had like a real sound. Like they had like a very like distinct sound that made them a super group, and it wasn't like corny. It like really worked, I feel like. At the same time, I would say like this song is weird. I have like a hard time being like, I really love this song, it passes, but I think it's still just very nostalgic. I'm like on the fence. Like I'm really like one toe in each space almost. Like I'm just like, it's nostalgic, but it's like good, and I'm gonna keep playing it. I don't know. I'm like right there.
I think so. This was out of our 4 picks, I think this was the hardest one to classify as a power ballad, because when you gave me the assignment, I was like, yeah, power ballad's awesome. But then in my head, when I think power ballads, I think like hard rock power ballads, like glam rock, hair metal, like those styles. And the grunge kind of killed that genre. Yeah. But this was like 1991, so it was still in that era between finally killing the last glam hair bands like Guns N' Roses and allowing the Seattle grunge scene. I'm from Seattle, so this is all just bias being thrown at you guys right now. But yeah, so the more superior grunge rock with its soul from Seattle, and you know, we still had wild hair, but it wasn't like poofy.
Yeah, they didn't use hairspray in it. They just chose not to wash it.
Yeah, that was grease. You just had grease. It's how it went. Yeah. I mean, the punk rock era had the egg whites in their hair. We just didn't watch ours.
That's it.
But yeah, for me, I would still put this on a playlist. But like I said, Pearl Jam's one of my favorite bands. Like 90s grunge still frequently ends up on one of my playlists.
So if we're putting this to the test, you're saying it passes it. Like you would pass the test because you're playing this now.
Yeah.
Bro hugs.
All right.
I think after like I'm putting it as still nostalgic because it's still like there's something like I don't know, like I loved it and I thought it definitely opened that door to go into this album again and really listen to it even more and possibly have a whole episode about it. I don't know, but like this was a really
Dan, if you're gonna have a whole episode about it, you're gonna do it, Brandon, because I will totally admit that I don't remember this album.
So what do you think, Manny? I'm going nostalgic still.
I'm saying nostalgic just because, like, so I'm gonna totally, like I wasn't in. I like Pearl Jam, but I didn't really get into Temple of the Dog. I didn't. You were telling me about it, and I was like, I guess I didn't have. There was certain influences in my life that people that were introducing me to different bands and different genres, and I guess at that point nobody was bringing this up, or I just didn't even think about it. So it was nostalgic in a way of just like making me remember other like bands that I would listen to that sound similar, but like I didn't know anything about Temple of the Dog. I'm just listening to U2. I was like, oh, I learned so much now. So like, I was like, where was I when this was happening? Like, what was I doing? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe I was at a New Kids on the Block concert with my twin sister. Who knows?
I will say this though. I would rather listen to this song than November Rain, I think.
This might be controversial, but I feel like Mike McCready shreds a little harder than Slash in this song. Those two compared, not like entire works.
No,
that's a hot take right there. No, that's a hot take.
Yeah.
No!
I agree.
I'm going to come with fire. Nice.
I totally agree. I think like this song, to me, I would go back and listen to this more than November Rain. I love Batman. Manny,
all right.
No,
I'm agreeing. I'm just saying it's going to stay nostalgic to me, and I think I'm going to have to now get into this to see if I actually enjoy more these songs, because I did enjoy the song. Like I told you before, like it was the one song that in the beginning, the first 5 seconds of the song, I wasn't recognizing the song, so I was like, where was I when this came out? So I was trying to figure that out as a child. Like, was I wrestling at the time? Why didn't the wrestlers play this? Like, why wasn't this one of the things being played? You know?
I think it's because that album, it got play, but it was like they only had one album, right, Brandon?
It was just a tribute album.
Yeah. So and that one song, Hungry or Hunger, that's the one that they played.
Hunger Strike. Yeah,
Hunger Strike. That's the one they played. Was all over the place.
Yeah.
All right.
Plus, it might, being West Coast, or even just Seattle, it might have just not have gotten outside before like. 10 from Pearl Jam came out within a year of this album coming out.
That's right.
And
definitely.
So just the plays were different in different radio stations and stuff.
Yeah.
Got it.
Absolutely. Wow.
All right.
Excellent. So let's jump into mine. I now, when I was thinking of power ballads, and I think it's it's an interesting category because it's like, like you, Brandon, I was like, I could pick like a great hair metal type of like ballad, right? But then I'm like, on social media, this song has been coming up so much that I have to go back and I had to listen to it over again. And I was like, wow, this to me like fits into the power ballad category because one, it starts in a place and then it just like lifts into outer space. Like it's just like
Mentos, the fresh maker.
And her vocals, Celine Dion, if anyone's like, this is like, it's all coming back to me now by Celine
you didn't
Dion.
want to do the one by Meatloaf.
No, I don't want to do the one by Meatloaf, which was.
But the video is such a tribute to Meatloaf's videos. Like her videos. Were you about to call me?
Taking that out.
That's got me ball.
Manny, this album, that the Meatloaf that he did it on in 2006, the Bad Out of Hell 3 album.
Yeah.
His version is trash. I watched.
No, it's trash. I watched
and
it
it's
too.
a duet, and it's crap.
It's crap. It's crap.
It's not good. It's like Three Musketeers bad.
No, I just thought it was funny because if you watch this video, it's basically it is Three Musketeers bad, but it's basically the exact video of "I'll do anything for love," but I won't do that. There's like roses and and he's not a monster. It's not Frankenstein's thing. There's a motorcycle. There's flying petals of roses. It was like they just watched the same director do this movie. This video is what I wanted to know.
Horrible.
I'm curious. Do you remember any Meatloaf video that doesn't have him on a motorcycle and in a castle as a monster?
No.
First of all, the video.
No, he played that whole thing. He's like, I'm not that good looking. I have to make myself even uglier and make myself a monster, and we'll just do this. So
even the video
worked.
to Love by a Dashboard Light, or whatever, that one.
Yeah.
It's just him performing it on stage. He looks like a monster. He is a monster. I mean, he looked like, and I feel bad we're talking about a guy who passed away, but he looked.
And we're not even doing a song yet.
But it totally the version from 2006 is not good. The 90s, the version that Celine Dion sang was amazing. I love this song. And actually, it psychs me up when I hear it. When she's just like at the end, like, baby, baby, and you're just like, yeah. That's gonna be more.
The 90s was really good at female vocals just ramping up and up and up, and then having that quick pause, and then say Whitney Houston with the "I Will Always Love You."
Oh yeah.
Belting it at the end.
Belting it.
Yeah.
It's like that pause where they need to breathe because they're about to belt for 3 minutes straight. I agree, Dan. I thought this was great. I haven't heard this yet. TikTok there's a whole trend going on, right? It's this song. Yeah. And my niece is 19, and she's been singing a lot of ballads. So her age group is now really into what we grew up with. Yeah. Because I'll be driving and snowboarding with her, and she's playing this playlist, and I'm like, why are you listening to this? She goes, everyone loves this right now. And I was like, so that's that's their oldies, right? When we were, and I was like, oh man, I hate you.
It's all coming back to them. It's all coming back to them now.
We're only a few years off from being the same age Deborah Jo Rupp was when she started playing Kitty on that 70s show.
Oh boy.
So, yeah.
No!
Just thought I'd make us all aware of that.
I just turned 41, so I was like, man. But I'm glad to see the young people liking these songs.
Young people.
But this is a great video. It's so long. Radio version only really highlights all the good parts, obviously.
Yeah.
But
a nice 5 minutes 31 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's long for radio, right?
That's long for radio.
Billy Joel would argue that that's too long.
They got to cut it down to 3:05.
That's right. Brendan probably hates Billy Joel. He's like, fucking Billy Joel. Of course, a Long Island guy said Billy Joel.
No, I really like Moving Out. I could probably name Piano Man if I'm being cliche. And there was that SNL sketch in the early 2000s with Lindsay Lohan in the back of a cab and Horatio Sands playing Billy Joel as he tries to.
So it didn't really reach you, any of Billy Joel's songs.
I mean, not when they came out. I came back to them in my preteens, I would say. Moving out, the musical came out when I was probably in the 6th grade.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was like, I heard that song in a commercial. I might as well check out this Billy Joel guy.
It's just funny to hear that from someone that's not from the East Coast, to see what they feel about Billy Joel, because obviously he's still popular enough that he's multi-millionaire from records, not just from people buying it from the East Coast. So it's what does a West Coast person feel about him?
It's kind of, it's shameful to say. I probably didn't hear We Didn't Start the Fire until The Office did the version.
What?
That's my karaoke song, by the way.
Wow.
And that's my karaoke song, not only at a video game bar, but any bar. Even a ski mountain bar, a kid's bar where I'm just cursing. We didn't fucking start this fire. It was bad.
New Orleans.
Yeah, New Orleans. That's true. But
man.
back to this song. And that's a nostalgia test tangent. Celine Dion.
Yes.
Love this song.
It's all coming back to me now.
Yes, it's all coming back to me now. Yeah, I think this is great. I gotta admit, I'd still rock it. I think it passes the test. I think it's still stands the test of time. It's on TikTok. You see it. It's trending. Even when it's playing, it does a really good job of reminding you. And she's killer vocals.
She's
killer.
a monster.
Killer.
Yeah, I would love to have seen a version of this song done with Chris Cornell and Celine Dion.
Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have to go get her wipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could still do that with a hologram.
I don't want no hologram Chris Cornell.
I mean, have you seen what they've done with Mark Hamill on The Mandalorian? It's creepy.
It's so creepy.
How his face almost looks normal now, but his voice is still very together from previous things.
You know what I don't get about that too? It's like, why not just have a person play that character? Like, we understand acting. We understand that other people can play a role. Like,
no, man, it must be Mark Hamill.
People can't let that go. It's crazy.
I mean, Sebastian Stan, I've seen those posts where they're like, he looks exactly like Mark Hamill did. I'm like, I could give into that. I would be fine with that. Yeah. But it's all coming back to me now. I had one small note, and it was, we were complaining about the length of November Rain, and how it stopped twice before finishing. Or it ended twice before finishing. This song did the same thing. You get to maybe this end of the close to the end of the 6 minutes, and then there's still like a whole extra minute of her trying to just meandering out with the piano and the and small sounds.
She was going with the ballad, man. She's like, okay, we're gonna continue it. No, more.
But that's what's so great about a power ballad. Does that thing? It's like this part. It's like, if you touch me like this, like it's been going crazy. Then it goes down, and all of a sudden it's like, what?
Yeah.
I have to go get her wipe.
It's like out into outer space, like, and then it's just like, and that's the end of the song. But like,
it's like a roller coaster where it's a long ride up to when it starts to get exciting, and then after it's all over, you kind of have that slow taxi back into where you get on or off. Yeah,
it's kind of like when if you go to Disney World or Disneyland and you do the Splash Mountain, and like you finished, you gone down. You're all wet. It's, whatever. It's awesome. But then it's that long taxiing it back to the beginning, and you're just like, and it's just like, oh my God, I want off this. My pants are wet. I'm sitting in a puddle, and it's just like uncomfortable. So it's just like the fun has happened, and now it's just like, are we there yet? Like, I need to go.
So you're saying it's not passing the test?
No, I'm passing this song. I'm saying Celine Dion's song passes the nostalgia test.
Okay. Brandon?
I would absolutely pass the radio edit. I'm on the fence about the long version, but I would say yes. With Dan's adequate description of how wet he was after getting off the ride.
Yeah.
I have to go get her wipe.
Yes, I will say it is. I would put it on a playlist, current playlist.
Awesome.
All right.
Manny?
No, I definitely think it passes. So. All right, so we go to your partners.
Yes.
Pick.
I try to do impressions, but I don't do impressions of him. I feel like you get angry. I would do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. By Meatloaf is Andrew's pick. I just wanted to say his name was Robert Paulson.
Holy nostalgia. Yes.
Yes.
One of the best roles he's ever played.
Mm-hmm. Way better than the creepy bat on a motorcycle vampire in the music video for this.
Seriously. I love Batman.
But yeah, R.I.P. Meatloaf. I would do Anything for Love, but I won't do that. Was on Bat Out of Hell 2, Back into Hell. So I think that kind of just negates the title to 2. Bat 2. Is that Batman Returns?
I love Batman.
So this came out in 1993. There's an album version that is 12 minutes and 1 second.
Ridiculous.
A single version is 5 minutes 13 seconds. A B-side single is 6 minutes 30 seconds, and the video version that I think we all watched was 7 minutes and 40 seconds. That's the one I watched.
That's the one I watched.
Yeah, that's the one too that I don't know. There's two guys on TikTok. They're really amazing. Twins, the new trend where they watch songs for first.
I like those guys.
And
Yeah.
they were watching this song for the first time, and there was an edit where like they were watching and going, okay, and then it was like waiting to get to the song, and you can see where like they punched in again, and it was just like, okay, here's the song finally. And I remember.
Because in the beginning,
it's ridiculous. Totally.
In the beginning, it's like the guy's like trying to be like Michael Jackson, making like thematic, like this whole movie
like
going on.
Criminal video.
Yeah, it's like it opens up with a title card that says, "I have traveled across the universe through the years to find her. Sometimes going all the way is just a start."
Was he an alien?
I've never understood this music video.
Yeah, like he's getting chased by cops, and is he the guy on the bike, or is he the witch that's like poisoning the apple from like Snow White? Like, what is happening in this video? I'm not really sure, but
No, I'm not sure at all. It's like a rock version of like the Phantom of the Opera, but at the same time, it's also Beauty and the Beast, and it's also Grease, and it's I don't know, like it's everything.
Yes, there's a lot going on.
But at least Blues Traveler picked a theme when they did their music video for Runaround. It was just a fake guy on a stage.
Yeah.
That's all they needed.
Yeah, but like, all right, let's get to this song.
I hate this song.
No! So guys, if you like Nostalgia Test Podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe and like.
Follow us on all social media outlets that you can find us and where you can get podcasts. Podbean, Spotify, Apple. I can't. I hate you, Dan.
I can't.
Why do you hate the song?
Yeah, you should tell us why you hate the song. That's probably
because like you go from like loving Celine Dion's song, but you hate this song. Do you just hate Meatloaf?
Never a big Meatloaf fan. I was never a Meatloaf fan.
So like Paradise by the Dashboard Light, not your thing.
Oh, Paradise by the Dashboard.
He loves long songs, obviously.
Yeah, they need to be
like
short.
that song itself goes to restart like 4 times, and then there's like a whole like baseball game going on at one point.
Yeah, I but like, and I used to listen to like Q104 on Long Island, the classic rock station. Anytime this any Meatloaf song came on, I was like, oh, I'm in for it now. And like, I would change it. I just don't. He's a great singer. I'm not going to say that he wasn't talented, that he wasn't a good singer, all those things. I'm going to give all that. The music is just not for me. I don't get it. I don't like it. I can't listen to it. I just don't get it.
So did you give this song a chance at all, or you were just like,
no, of course I did.
Maybe.
I listened.
I don't think you did. I think you have the glasses of I hate Meatloaf.
No, I totally gave it a chance, and I didn't like it again.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
I'm going to disagree with you big time. I think this song is killer. I was rocking out, and it does end like 8 times. I think maybe right. It's right.
But I didn't take notes on this one.
This one ends. There's such a high, and then it's like doom 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 doom, like rocking out, and then like she comes in, and then it just like kind of ends. She's like, you're gonna start cheating on me. You're gonna leave, and he's like, I won't do that, and then it just kind of ends. But there's like a middle part that's just like rocking out, and I was screaming in my car. Screaming.
That's gonna be more.
Screaming. Yes, Dan.
That's epic.
Yo, you can look at our TikTok video. I did a video on this.
Yes. Also, it's been used. That just triggered. It's been used in a commercial for M&Ms from like
yeah.
I want to say 5 years ago, but that if I don't think it was 5 years ago anymore. I think it was 10 years ago at this point.
Probably, yeah. Anytime we say 5, it's like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Quit.
Yeah. Yeah. And so while I was listening to this, I was like, I could really use some chocolate coated in a candy covered shell.
Marketing works.
Yeah. Right. You know, Betty White died, and all I wanted to do was eat Snickers. Just kind of.
Oh, now that you're saying that, yeah, was the video used in it too in the Eminem commercial, like where he's in the video, or is that a different thing?
No, it's well.
That was a different Eminem commercial where he's in a haunted house.
Yes. Yeah.
Why?
He's always dressed up as the Phantom of the Opera. Or,
He's always in something haunted. He was in this. He's haunted in his version of like It's All Coming Back to Me Now. I feel like it's the same guy from this video, but now he's like in Beauty and the Beast. He's like a human being now, and you know, in a haunted house. But then he's not. Then there's a ghost. That video is really weird too. But like,
Tell you, same director.
I don't like this song.
Meatloaf.
I don't like this song.
Meatloaf went to Celine Dion and was like, if you're gonna do this song, you have to do this kind of video.
Well,
Yeah, he was like, no.
did you see that he actually got sued, so he couldn't record the song before Celine Dion, the previous song? It's All Coming Back to Me Now.
Really?
Yeah, the writer of that song, Meatloaf, wanted to record it, and then he sued him so that he couldn't use it, and then he finally got to record it for Bad Out of Hell 3 after Celine had it.
So Celine had it first.
Yeah. Well, she had a second, actually.
Yeah, she had a second. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
He had a third.
He should have gave up at that point, especially when he was like making an album that was like Bad Out of Hell 3.
Yeah.
Like,
Listen, man.
If you've reached a point where you're releasing albums with China next to Chinese democracy, you should take a step back.
Cold November rain. That's it.
like seriously, I don't know. Okay, so I'm gonna say this doesn't pass the nostalgia test, and for me, it's just not even nostalgic. I'm not saying that it's a bad song overall. It's just not for me. I don't like it. I don't ever want to return to this song.
Dude, it's not nostalgic at all to you. It doesn't even bring up any feeling. It's nostalgic. Shut up.
Bring up what?
Your hatred for this.
Yeah, it brings you up the nostalgia of going, who the fuck listens to Meatloaf? Oh, I have a best friend who
Manny.
does.
Manny listens to Meatloaf.
And I have to say, I'm probably the only one who does.
Now Steve's probably gonna chime in somehow and be like, "All right, let's do Meatloaf."
Seems like they request this all the time at bars.
Fuck you, Steve.
And you just watch these balls bang into each other, banging back and forth.
So I'm saying no, Manny. We already know your answer. But Brandon,
No. I'll say this though. It's very nostalgic. I don't know if it would pass the test now. I'm not like I said it before. Like, yeah, I rocked out to this because of this, like this episode, but I'm not listening to this all the time. So I would say it's just very, very nostalgic.
Yeah, honestly, so when we picked this, I thought it was going to pass the test. I was like, this is the only song in the 90s that hits the hard rock power ballad to me that I could think of off the top of my head. And I forgot Guns N' Roses released that album in 1991.
Cold November rain. That's it.
But like, honestly, the first third of the song, I think, passes. If you could cut it down to the single version, I would pass it. But if we're going full album version, I wouldn't put this on a modern playlist that I listen to because it starts and stops too many times, and it's the same song until you get to the last third or fourth of it with the duet, and even that doesn't carry the whole song into going onto a playlist unless I needed filler. If I had like a 45-minute playlist and I'm like, I need something to round it out to close to an hour, I would put this on twice.
Yeah, and you got to play it like people are already drunk enough to like be cheesy enough to be like, oh, we'll sing this song and not realize that we've been singing it for 7 minutes just saying, I'll do anything for love, anything you've been dreaming.
Yeah, like that's the thing. Like it's too many to say. Whoa, do like it's just like okay.
What won't you do?
A bunch of other lyrics prior to this. You could have written something here, or just go. Doesn't need to be 12 minutes long.
Yep.
Yeah, it's that special drunk where you're forgetful enough that you're like, oh yeah, this is an awesome song. You're forgetful enough that you don't notice it repeating, but you're not so drunk that you're like, have I been stuck at this bar for an hour listening to the same song over and over again?
Yeah, it's just like Meatloaf is sitting there with the song and they're like, well, Pink Floyd has a 15-minute song. Like, let's do that. And it's just like, no. How about you don't do that? You just focus on making a 5-minute rock song.
Can you imagine if he broke this up into part 1, 2, and 3? Like, it's already a long title with the first parentheses. This is Brandon for K-Rock 103.3. We're going to be playing I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That, part 1. And a little later on the hour, we have I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That, part 2 by Meatloaf coming at you.
You got to do that all before the chime comes in. Oh, all right.
Now for station identification.
Yeah. So, guys, if you like Nostalgia Test podcast, please don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, guys. Well, that's it. So, the last thing, because I know we're shot for time, Dan, but I wanted to say, which one of these 4 are we saying wins the whole thing?
I don't think November Rain wins. I can't put November Rain in there.
Go November Rain. That's it.
That's my choice is November Rain.
I don't even think I think those two. Even I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. Although I love singing it, I don't think it does it either.
I'll do anything.
It's a really hard one. To me, it's between Say Hello to Heaven and It's All Coming Back to Me Now. And it's really hard. I don't know. But those are the two I'm putting there as battling it out. I think it really depends on the mood I'm in, because they're both power ballads and they're both ballads and they're both doing stuff. But the Temple of the Dog song is more like you said, Manny, if I'm staring through the window and it's raining and I'm just looking for that bit of heaven, where the Celine Dion song is the Celine Dion song is I don't know. There's something triumphant about that song where I'm I don't know. I need that kind of push to go to. I don't know. It's really hard, but it's definitely between those two for me.
Okay.
As a Seattleite, I definitely identify with the you need to be looking out the window at rain for the Temple of the Dog song. My bias, I would suggest the Temple of the Dog song, but honestly, I think it's a Celine Dion.
I'm going with Celine Dion, man.
Isn't that weird?
That's it. That's right. Celine Dion wins the Battle of Ballads on the Nostalgia Test. All right. Well, this is great. Brandon, let everybody know where we can find your podcast again.
Oh, yeah. I am Brandon from Name Me 90s. You can find us at nameme90s.com/listen every Monday, and nameme90s.com/YouTube if you want to see our ugly mugs. And yeah, you can find us on Twitter at nameme90s with 90s. Also on Instagram at nameme90s with 90s. And if you have Facebook, you get the Instagram posts. So congratulations for using Facebook.
That does not pass the stop.
Well, Brandon, thank you so much for coming. This was super fun. I feel like definitely would love to have you back and hit up one of these, do a full album or something. But so great to have you here. Do the power ballads. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, forget about albums. I'm doing a TV show with Brandon. They're doing anything 90s. We don't have to just do music. So,
I know. You guys will have to come on one of our specials coming up too.
Nice, absolutely. Sweet. But everyone, we would love to hear which one of these power ballads you think passes the nostalgia test, which one reigns supreme. If there's something on here that's the hell with these ballads, what about this one? Throw it in the comments. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the Nostalgia Test, on Twitter at Nostalgia Test, and hit us up with a 5-star rating. And we'll see you on the next test, everybody. Peace.
Tailspin. That's one of my favorite shows of all time.
Oh my God! All right. Thanks for listening to today's episode. Please subscribe to the Nostalgia Test podcast to know when new episodes drop. Don't forget to leave us 5 stars and a positive review so more people can find the podcast. Share your thoughts and memories on today's topic on our Twitter at Nostalgia Test and on Instagram at The Nostalgia Test. Tune in next time because you never know what pop culture will pop up on The Nostalgia Test.